Good morning. Welcome back. This is Art and Culture Monday, and it is amazing as always. As promised, I have guests with me in studio, and they are poets. You know, I love this. Karibuni sana, guys. How are you doing? Might I give you the opportunity to introduce yourselves?
Yeah.
Yes.
You wanna go?
Yeah, you go.
Okay.
All right, ladies first.
So, my name is Faith Artieno. I am a poet, I am a singer, a songwriter, and I'm also a lawyer.
Ooh,
Yeah.
titles. What am I doing with my life? Okay.
Hi, my name is Robin, but I perform on stage as Enigma Creative.
Enigma Creative.
Yes, I am a storyteller.
Yes.
And a spoken word artist.
Amazing. Before we go anywhere, why Enigma?
So I had a mentor who introduced me to the stage.
Yes.
And after a performance I did on Valentine's of 2014, I got off stage and then he told me that was an enigmatic performance.
Wow.
Just like that, I got a name.
Enigma is the name. I think I like that. I like Enigma. So that means you have been in the industry for a while.
Yes.
Because 2014, I assume you had started before that.
2013.
2013.
Yeah.
Those are many years. Those are actually many years. Karibuni sana. But you're now here as a team, Refupoet.
Yes.
So I want you to tell me a little bit about Refupoet so that we can know what you guys are all about.
Yeah. So Refupoet is a space that uses art to tell refugee stories of trials and triumphs. That's how we define Refupoet. But just to bring it down is we talk about refugee matters or raise awareness on refugee rights using poetry, using music, and using dance.
Yeah.
And Refupoet came into being in 2018. That's when we held our first event on the World Refugee Day at Alliance Francais.
Yeah.
And we brought together refugee artists and Kenyan artists and just come and perform. And it's important that both refugees and Kenyans are involved, because when refugees come to Kenya, they start interacting with Kenyans.
Yes.
So they become our problem.
Exactly.
And we need to take care of them, because if you don't take care of them, then no one will.
Yeah.
So that's we brought together the two sides, and we did our first event. Last year we did the same thing on the World Refugee Day. Refugee artists collaborated with Kenyan artists, and they were able to perform, just trying to change the perception of people towards refugees, telling them that refugees are actually human beings, you know, with lives, and they need care.
Wow, nice. For education purposes, the only place like I know where there is a refugee camp is Kakuma. Please, are there any other? Because I feel like we have not had this conversation. So some of us, actually, I know that from school, like from studying in school, I've not actually been there. I think that should change. So which other places are they in Kenya?
So I also know of Kakuma.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised, there are a number of refugee populations right here.
Like within us?
Yeah, within us, So some of them are here for schooling purposes, and they have the relevant documents so that they can be able to study in institutions right here in town.
Yeah.
Because these opportunities do not exist at the peripheries where the camps are.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
but you're right. Kakuma is actually one of the largest.
The largest, exactly. I know that because as I was telling you just before the interview started, I was schooling with some Sudan refugees back in primary school. And after that was done, that I don't know where they are right now. I hope we will bump into each other on social media or something. If we schooled with you back in the Spring Academy, talk to me, because I feel like they are here within us, and schools close and suddenly they are not there. So I think Refupoet is a really intriguing and interesting opportunity for them to come outside school, outside a school setting and interact with Kenyans because they are here. I am just before I ask for the t-shirt, why Refupoet?
So it's basically refu for refugee, poet for a poet.
So it's refu.
Refu. You can still say refu.
So no, it's
oh my God, I've never thought of it like that ever.
Well, most of them are really tall. Okay.
I see what you did there. Okay.
Wow. But that's where it came from. When we were first thinking of the name, and I'm a poet,
Yeah.
and we are thinking of refugees, so Refupoet, like
Yeah.
just that's what it means. But
Amazing.
we employ all kinds of art, not just poetry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the first two editions, are there like names I know that actually of refugee poets that actually performed there?
Yeah, there are. We have Adar Dor, that's a South Sudanese artist, poet. She'll also be performing in this coming one.
Amazing.
We have one who is called Dave Erjok, also a poet. We had Moses Deng. We have one called Amos, and we're still interacting with various more refugee artists as we go.
How exactly, like, where do you get them from? How do you guys contact them?
There are organizations that work with refugees here in the city.
Yeah.
And also they connect a lot with them from the camps.
Yeah.
So basically reaching out to them, I remember the first Refupoet was majorly that kind of connection, establishing it.
Yeah.
Then subsequent ones have been easier because once you have met with them
Yeah,
the first
now
round,
they know.
now
Yeah.
they even tell you, oh, there's this other friend of mine who just came out from the camp and they are trying this poetry thing. Let them come and then get exposure and stuff like that.
Amazing.
So it's easy.
Yeah, it's now easy since Refupoet is out there, so which means they can also reach out to you actually.
Yes.
And do this. Yes. Amazing. Now I want to know, you guys have a number of sponsors. Like, it is interesting for a poet group. You know, for a music group, maybe it's expected. But you guys have a number of sponsors. Number one, what is the secret? We need to look for this one.
For me, I would say you only need one believer.
Yeah.
The rest will follow.
Amazing.
So when we started with Amnesty International. They were very parent sponsors, or let me call them partners.
Yeah.
So immediately we had Amnesty in our conversation. It's easier for Amnesty to now reach out to other human rights organizations.
True.
For this year, for example, a friend of ours, Desmond, just reached out to this lady who works at GIZ.
Yeah.
And the lady bought the idea, sold it to their partners, and GIZ sold it to other partners that they have interacted with. So it's not like we have walked to each and every door, but we just had one who really believed in our objective, and they were like, let me sell it to the people that I know. Yeah.
So you people at home, the key is get a believing partner. So that
also the power of a story.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
if you tell a story and it captures the motivation and the ideologies of people, they can actually buy a lot into it.
Yeah.
So when one person believes, they sell your name and your story in rooms where you can't get in.
Exactly. But for them, what you mean is for them to believe, you have to have something believable, you know, something that is worth following.
Yes. Right.
Because I think, honestly, partners are at the same table, so it's easy for partners to talk to partners.
Yeah.
So you just come up with a believable sounds wrong, with an idea that is actually something, and someone will see that and actually buy into it.
Yeah.
So you said the first event happens at Allianz.
Yeah.
Where did the second event happen?
Same place.
Same
at
place.
Allianz,
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. So this year, where will it be taking place?
Online. Because of COVID-19, of course, and restriction of movement and gathering of people together.
Yeah.
So we were able to come up with a concept that now moves the event online.
Yeah.
So we will be streaming the performances on our social media, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram as well. So what we'll do is we are currently carrying out recordings of performances of the artists who we will be working with.
Yeah.
So that on that 20th of June, we'll be able to stream them on social media.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Apart from the ones you have told me, which are some of the other artists who will actually be performing then?
Yeah, we have him. He will.
Yes.
We have also been introduced to some new poets. A refugee poet, for example, there's one called Dio Gray.
Yeah.
There's another refugee artist called Prince Israel.
Yeah.
We'll also have one Jumadi, that's a singer.
Yes.
And we'll also be working with some people whom we worked with before, like a musician called Ella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. So apart from just poetry pieces, what other thing are we to expect?
You are going to expect interesting conversations on the problems refugees experience, and we are aiming to have it contextualized, so that everybody can see that over and above these people being refugees, they literally go through the exact same things we go through.
True.
You know, and it's the only difference with their story is that they have been shortchanged from wherever it is they called home, and that's literally the only difference.
Wow, so otherwise they are just normal
humans
citizens,
like we are.
Of course. How long will the concert be?
About an hour. About an hour. Maybe if we pass just with a few minutes, but around an hour.
So does it, okay, and an hour seems short for a number. So that is this the reason why you're pre-recording, so that it's just playing?
Yes. We want to edit everything out so that it's just an online event that you can follow through, no internet buffering, no, we want, we're working with a total of 9 artists. Yes.
Amazing.
5 refugees and 4 Kenyan artists. Yes.
Amazing. So just remind me, before, there's something you wanted to say?
But the concert is just one of the things we will be doing. In the week leading to the concert, all these conversations will be structured and had continuously each day. So we will have somebody talking on education and refugees, mental health and sexual and gender-based violence, and a host of so many other topics and issues that are affecting the refugee community as much as they affect us who are civilians.
Okay. Please remind me of the platforms where this concert will be going live, just for people to...
Okay. So on Facebook at Refupoet, YouTube at Refupoet Kenya, Instagram at Refupoet Kenya. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So anything that... Basically, anything that I have not asked about that you feel should be put. I love that the conversation starts way earlier, so that the concert is just one, but before the concert we have done a number of things. Could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
So in 1 hour we cannot expound completely on everything that needs to be expounded on. And we needed to have a form or structure that allows us to really talk and have people having conversations on the issues that are pertinent to the refugee story. So the presentations that will be given during the last day, the festival, will be a culmination of these discussions, because these discussions have given life to the pieces that these artists will be working on for the concert.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a full cycle when you start with the discussions all the way through, and then you finish with the concert.
Finally, what do you guys hope to achieve? Like, after all this, after these conversations have happened, after the concert has happened, what do you guys hope to achieve?
We hope that people will start thinking more about refugees. Whenever, even like during this time when we are talking about COVID-19, are we only just thinking about ourselves, What about the refugees who are in camps? What about the ones who are in urban areas? Are they being tested for COVID? Do they have access to medicine, food, water, that kind of stuff? We just hope that a refugee will constantly be at the back of your mind whenever you're carrying out your activities, or if you're an employer and a refugee person comes and, they're seeking employment, like how are you going to treat this refugee? So we hope to mainstream refugee matters in every single aspect of our lives.
Exactly. During this COVID-19 times last week, what is the discussion for Refupoet concerning that?
So concerning refugees and the COVID-19 scenario, we are trying to shed light on the fact that over and above their refugee status and already the problems they experience as refugees, how much more does this situation make them vulnerable? And how can that be remedied so that now it doesn't become another problem on top of all the problems they already have?
Wow, now since we have poets on set, is someone performing something?
Enigma should definitely.
Okay. All right. They gave a name to the bullet that took his mother's breath away. They called it Stray. They said it was a mistake and showed up at her funeral with 21 guns and strayed 21 bullets into the insolent, death-drenched skies that only stared back in a grey haze, a soldier's salute of death, they said. Told he was that the syllables to his name were the final foldings of her tongue as her final breath escaped her troubled lungs. Hush, child, hush. From ashes she came, to ashes she escapes, the priest had said as her remains sank 6 feet into the dirt. They gave a name to the shouts and bouts and endless pouts of casual sex. They called it YOLO. So they convened in nightclubs dressed in skimpy skirts, sagged jeans, and danced the remainder of the night away in the center stage of what they wanted to believe was fun. They gave a name to the consequences of their actions. They called it guilt, baptized it depression. They walked around marketplaces with their heads bent in dejection. They could not fathom the weight of society, putting down its pain, its judgment, its resentment upon their heads. So they gave a name to the solution of their problems. They called it suicide. They slit open their wrists and let the blood bleed. They swallowed cyanide and pumped bullets into their heads. They jumped off 60-story buildings from the balconies of the rooms where their children were conceived, I guess. Their lives were never worth the pain, the trouble, and the effort. Thank you.
Ooh. If you were not convinced to attend the virtual concert, are you now? I hope that honestly you are, because that okay. Hata sina maneno. Salute to you. Thank you so much, you guys. Finally, when is the concert happening?
20th of June. From 6 p.m.
Yes.
Tuendelee mpaka 7:30 around there.
Yes. 20th of June from 6 p.m.
Yes.
Please, we will be sharing the links to the concert.
Yeah.
So watch out. I personally will be sharing because I have been given a t-shirt. They have not said it, but I know they have given me a t-shirt. So I will be sharing, and
Well
KUTV Kenya will be sharing those links, and of course Refupoet. You just go online, look for them. You will find the link somewhere there.
Yes.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining me. It was